You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. My name is Arya and this is your next audio update for Wednesday, December 21st, 2016. It is the next to last NXT of the year, and tonight we crowned a number one contender to the NXT Championship. Who is it? Well, keep listening, I'll tell you. But first, we had a grudge match. Billie Kay with Peyton Royce in her corner versus Daria Baronato. Daria, formerly of Tough Enough. This match was set up about 3 weeks ago or so when they were still in Toronto. Billie and Peyton had asked Daria to be their partner in a 6-woman tag, but then walked out on her during the match. They must have a death wish here, folks. But anyway, the story of this match was Billie Kay did not stand a chance in a singles match with Daria. Daria beat her inside the ring. Daria beat her outside the ring. Daria beat her all over the ringside area. However, Peyton rammed Daria into the ring apron back first with the referee distracted. Billie then picked up the win inside the ring with the running boot to the face. After the match, both Billie and Peyton issued a challenge to Asuka, saying that they were the competition that she says doesn't exist on NXT. We got an Authors of Pain squash match as they took on John Oregon and Anthony Owens in the next match. Akam and Razar completely destroyed Owens. Oregon, who was standing on the apron, tried leaving, but was intimidated back into the ring, and he was also destroyed. Authors of Pain did their move where they pick both men up into a powerbomb position and then ram them together. They threw them on top of each other. Akam and Razar went for their finish. However, the referee stepped in and called the match, awarding the bout to Anthony Owens via a referee stoppage. After the match, Paul Ellering announced that all roads lead to San Antonio, and as announced, I believe, last week, they don't care if it's DIY or the Revival, but the Authors of Pain are on a seek and destroy mission to become the next NXT Tag Team Champions of the world. At least the world of Orlando, anyway. Asuka was backstage and cut a promo saying that Peyton Royce and Billie Kay need to be careful because they are no competition to her. Nikki Cross was then seen off to the side of the stage laughing at the champ, so I guess she's got a death wish as well. Then we got a really good little video package recapping how all 4 men made it to tonight's main event, which led to our main event, a fatal 4-way elimination match to determine the number one contender to the NXT Championship. In case you think this show didn't have a whole lot and you think it's going quickly, that's because it did. This match, they started the entrances at 8:23, and the bell rang at about 8:29, giving them plenty of time, more time than the usual NXT main event. This match, easy for me to say. This match featured the 4 men that won their matches last week, that being Ty Dillinger, Andrade Cien Almas, Roderick Strong, and the glorious Bobby Roode. Before starting, they announced, what was, in my opinion, pretty obvious, but I guess they had to point it out. The winner of this will get their match against Shinsuke Nakamura in the main event at NXT TakeOver Toronto. Today's not my day, I guess. At NXT TakeOver San Antonio, because they won't retroactively face Shinsuke Nakamura in Toronto. Corey Graves did the Bobby Heenan gimmick before the match and picked every single person to win at one point or another. And what's his name? Percy Watson showed that he is no Gorilla Monsoon, because when Bobby Heenan would go off on this, Gorilla Monsoon would make a snide comment but then move on. But instead, Corey Graves got called out on it, and that was that. This match, actually, especially when all four were in the ring, was really, really good here. The first top move of the match was Almas laying up both Dillinger and Strong in the middle of the ring. He went for a top rope moonsault, but in the middle of his moonsault, both men rolled out of the way. However, when Almas landed on his feet and immediately went for a standing moonsault on Strong, but Roderick got his knees up. Everyone was going for covers on everyone as soon as they could. Strong knocked Rude out of the ring where Almas and Dillinger already were and did a twisting dive over the top onto all three men. Back in the ring, Rude tried to roll up Strong and put his feet on the ropes, but the referee wouldn't count despite there being no disqualification. They tried to point out it has to be a legal pinfall even in this no disqualification situation. We got the stacked up superplex with Dillinger being the main person powerbombing the pile. Almas hit his corner knees on Dillinger, but as he went to drag Dillinger off into the middle of the ring, Roderick Strong exploded with a sick kick, pinned Almas, so Almas was the first man eliminated. I was going to point out that Almas looked really good in this match, but all four men looked really good in this match, so, it's not going to be one of those fatal four-way matches that everyone talks about for years and years and years, but it was still, a really good match here. Strong and Dillinger then pretty much worked the next part by themselves while Rude caught a breather on the floor after what basically just amounted to a fun 2 minutes. Dillinger hit the tiebreaker out of nowhere and picked up the victory. Or not the victory, but he picked up the pin on Roderick Strong. And then there were two, ladies and gentlemen. The two men who faced off at NXT TakeOver Toronto were now left with a shot at the NXT title on the line. Dillinger and Rude. Dillinger looking good here, hitting one hot move after another, getting several near falls. However, Rude then took his head off with a clothesline. Rude went outside the ring and grabbed a steel folding chair, and he went back in the ring and charged at Dillinger. However, Dillinger took his head off with a super kick. Dillinger made the cover. The referee counted 1. The referee counted 2. But no, the referee didn't get to 3 because Rude kicked out. Dillinger went for another tiebreaker, but Rude got out of it and hit a spine buster. Rude went for the Impaler DDT, but Dillinger got out and hit the tiebreaker. Dillinger makes the cover yet again, and yet again Rude kicks out. Dillinger goes for a third tiebreaker, but Rude slips out and deposits Ty groin first on the corner. Dillinger falls down to the mat, and Bobby Roode becomes the number 1 contender with the Impaler DDT. So it has happened. And now, 5 weeks from this Saturday, on the WWE Network, at NXT TakeOver San Antonio, Shinsuke Nakamura one-on-one with Bobby Roode for the NXT Championship. So we are on the road to San Antonio, the road to TakeOver. I want to thank everybody for listening, and we'll talk to you again in 7 days. And until then, have a Merry Christmas, and whatever holidays you celebrate, have a happy holiday.
Thanks for listening to Arya Whitner's WWE NXT Report. This week it was the Fatal 4-Way edition. If you like the show, please subscribe to AngryMarks.com on YouTube for more editions of Arya Whitner's NXT coverage, and follow Arya on Twitter at TheReallyRealAW. You can follow the site at AngryMarks and visit AngryMarks.com for all of your pro wrestling, mixed martial arts news, interviews, recaps, and reviews. And always, we want to thank you for supporting Angry Marks now and throughout the holiday season, and wish a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you and yours.
You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.